of my neck stand up. Oh my god. This is so creepy. Why does this... It's weird. Normally this kind of shit happens when you're by yourself, but this stuff keeps happening when people are around. It makes me seem crazy because I'm the only one seeing it. Hello everyone, this is Minty Foxu and welcome back to The Letter. Last we left off, what's her name? Hannah. Hannah went into her wine cellar because she heard crying and she saw some scary shit and now she woke up in this bed. So let's find out what's going to happen next. It takes a while with the fog that has lifted in my head and with my heavy limbs. But soon enough, I managed to look around. I'm in our bedroom already, although I do not recall going here. Luke slumbers beside me, looking peaceful and angelic. It doesn't matter. I'm safe and I feel better than ever. Tomorrow, better days will come. October 28th, Friday. Luke is already gone by the time I rise. There isn't a single hide nor hair of him to be found, and trying to call him on his mobile is a bust, as it only goes straight to his voicemail. That's twice in a row he's gone on me, and for him to disappear today of all days is every bit upsetting because of what's to come. The morning is once again filled with a whirlwind of activities. Fortunately, I am much more refreshed as well. I took a break from my responsibilities. I haven't the faintest clue where Luke was yesterday. Today is going to be a busy day, although unlike Wednesday, the master of his house isn't here right now, absent once again for his duties. Hopefully he'll be back in time for the party. This is our house after all. A grand housewarming party for the wonderful Wright mansion. Every person of importance from Luxbourne is invited, and there will be a few guests flying in as well. Of course, there will be some people from the media along with friends and acquaintances who are made no less important regardless of their status in society. Marianne and I discuss business and last-minute touches to the house before finalizing everything. Not that there is much to change from our original plans. Bar any huge additions to the property itself, the mansion is nearly 100% complete.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Luke and I had a small tiff about making the second bedroom into a child's playroom, which I insisted is completely practical. In the end, he had to acquiesce it. I didn't give him any other choice in the matter. I even brought this wonderful wooden crib from an antique store yesterday, including some toys, just in case anyone brings their baby, of course. Besides, we have little need for actual guest rooms. We hardly ever have guests who spend the night. If we absolutely have to, we can often choose to foot the bill for their visit at one of our hotels instead, always at Luke's own insistence. And on the off chance that we actually let someone stay, the bedroom in the opposite wing is still up to the task.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
No, I did not agree to him having a helipad.
All right, then. Well, do we have any other concerns? Anything we need to put on our agenda before the party commences?
No, I don't think so. Not unless Luke has anything else to say.
Is he around, then? It'd be best if we can note down his request right away, considering the scope of his usual ones.
No, he's a terrible husband. He's never home. Around? No. Where is he? Who knows where? I don't know.
No, he's not around.
She didn't have to point out the obvious now, did she? After 7 long years, I've already gotten used to him. I should be by now. Still not, apparently.
But don't you have a party?
Marianne, can't you tell I'm already upset about this? You don't need to poke me with a stick. I want nothing more than to complain, to whinge about how unfair this is. However, airing out one's dirty laundry is simply taboo among high society. To do so will make a huge ripe target for the next dinner party chit-chat. Vultures, the lot of them, really. Or most of them, at least. They're all good ones, like Rochelle Lee. But put your trust in the wrong person, and you'll find yourself eagerly picked apart.
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting. He's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
Hana's really nice to try and cover for him like this. A lot of women would have just fucking, like, bitched about it, but she's actually quite smart in her own way, trying to protect him. That obviously shows how much she cares. Perhaps I'm being a little too rash, a bit too hot-headed in divulging details, but I thought myself clever with the plan to dress it up as gossip. Marianne's raised brow makes me unsure whether she is interested or not, although that does not make things better if she has no interest and therefore has no hidden intent to utilize whatever I might say to her.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit a... how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband.
Oh, I see, you switched it. This is basically your situation almost.
But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
What do I think of the matter, ma'am?
No, what do you think of my hair? It feels so lifeless and dull today, and that's no good for a party.
Oh, I feel so bad for Hana.
And I think I'm breaking out into zits.
Now that you mention it, there is something different.
There better not be something on my face.
I wouldn't worry about that. You do look a little paler than usual, ma'am. I apologise if I'm crossing any lines here, but have you been resting properly?
No.
Huh. You'd think I get a bit tanned with how sunny it's been lately. Don't you worry. I feel right as rain and never better. But back to the matter at hand.
You were asking for my personal opinion on the matter, ma'am? Do you want me to be honest, or...
Be honest with me. Don't be like, I don't know, just be honest.
Be honest with me, Marianne. I don't need someone to sugarcoat it. I'm not some fragile thing that I'm just going to break down at the slightest thing.
She hesitates, taking a sip of coffee while I stare into my own cup of tea. The silence stretches on, and I almost believe that she will never answer my question. I suppose that I shouldn't blame her, putting her on a tight spot like this. Her hesitation is understandable, though I loathe to admit it. She simply wants the whole thing to stay professional. But then she speaks.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Yep. It's my turn to hesitate now. I really didn't expect such a straightforward question. And to get to the heart of the matter, I suppose I'm not as clever as I think. Or is it really that bad that an outsider can see our marital problems? Surely we aren't that obvious, are we? We've put up the act for a couple years, although it hasn't always been an act. Marianne is just more than the average person, of course. It is necessary her career, but she's working so closely with us. Yes, that's it.
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle.
Pretty good.
But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Someone who won't even give him the time of the day.
Very good advice.
Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. That's just my 2 pence worth, of course.
So you're saying they should divorce?
Nothing as drastic as that.
Just, like, distance each other, I guess. Why does it always come to that?
If they're afraid that it might lead to just that, then maybe that is what's meant to happen in the first place.
True.
We shouldn't let our fear control our lives. But it's just a short hiatus is all.
I guess.
Or, couples therapy? Look, I'm really not the best person to ask about relationships. So grain of salt and all that.
I hate relationships. I hate this conversation. She trails off, having said her piece, and leaves nothing but the smell of coffee and Earl Grey tea between us. There's a small despite in the nature of what has just been discussed. To say that her words make me start to think is an underestimate. To say that I'm not considering her advice is a lie. To say that this might just be the calm before the storm is a possibility. Others have shorter marriages, yes, but plenty have celebrated long and happy ones as well. My own parents celebrated their choral anniversary before they passed away. But 7 years? 7 years isn't a whole lot in a grand scheme of things. It isn't a whole lot of time to see what and where our relationship can bring us. And at the same time, 7 years, well, hasn't been entirely up of unhappy years, has it? It won't last forever. It's not supposed to anyway. I just dread the thought that it might last for a very long time. I dread the thought that these small spats, these little disagreements, will turn into an all-out resentment. Oh god, yeah, I know. Ow. Fuck life, man. This is so sad. I hate this subject. The idea that we will grow to hate each other with every fiber of our being scares me. I can't even pinpoint the exact moment when our blissful union turns sour. We can get through this, right? I know that I do love him, and I feel that there is still a part of him that loves me in return. We just need to get our heads together and talk it out. Surely he will see some sense. There's a cough before Marianne clears her throat. I must have been quiet for so long, and I have to apologize when she stands up. We both end up on our feet, unsure how to proceed. Some sort of odd, awkward shuffle occurs as we decide whether to sit back down or not.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Oh, you can't wait to get away from me, can you?
Certainly.
Bye.
You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
I hate those kinds of people. The scene outside the parlor is great. Organized mess. Aside from our own household help, we hired the service of a temp agency which provides staff for Wright Enterprise in the hospitality sector. Even our very skilled staff cannot undertake a party of this size on its own. Waiters, busboys, hostesses, their staff captains move about in droves, carrying crockery and silverware good for several dozen people and then some. Chefs and bartenders tail after Johannes, looking like scared little children as he escorts them through the kitchen and into the wine cellar, to peruse the stocks, to select what we can serve as the party and what can be used for cooking.
Schnell! We have a lot to do, and I believe we did not hire snails.
Oh, damn.
Snails are for the dishes.
A string quadrant readies up to play for the evening, tuning their instruments as they fill the air with an idle chatter. Floral decor worth thousands fill vases, wreaths and baskets, while petals are scattered along the driveway up the front. Ooh, an ice sculpture of a reindeer is brought carefully by a pair. Oh, you know, this is perfect considering it's going to be Christmas soon. It is followed by a simple cake, just a 5-tier white chiffon one with white chocolate mousse, fresh berries, and a light dusting of edible gold leaf. But despite the fact that I told Marianne how I will attend to all of this, I find myself unable to focus or care for any of it. I still have our discussion running in my mind, and looking at all of it, I can only see Luke everywhere. These are all the grand things that Luke wanted to have for the party. I had wanted a small, elegant, simple gathering with only a select few invited, namely the people who I would actually trust to enter my home. I did not want any bloody politicians or paparazzi in here, no matter how used I am to catering to them.
At least be here for your party. Damn it, Luke.
I know, that's so annoying. I feel so bad for Hannah. Like, she must feel so fucking lonely. I ended up, in the beginning, I really didn't like her character. But it just shows you how much you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, because when you actually get to know her, she's really a really likable character. It's crazy. The entire thing screamed Luke Wright. And I can't help but add another question in my growing list of queries. When did I lose myself? It's always been about him nowadays, isn't it? What about Hannah Wright? What about Hannah Evans? I used to be my own woman, who made her own name, her own career, her own decisions. Sure, I was already the social butterfly that I still am today, but it wasn't all empty, shallow gossip and sitting pretty. I was also lulled from my knowledge and talent. Financial manager wasn't just handed to me just because my father owned the company. I had insisted that I start at the bottom so I could work my way to the top and prove myself, and I did. I worked numbers, managed budgets, monies, and accounts, analyzing competition and market trends. There was the calculation of financial risk, cost reduction opportunities, auditor license, and public relations, supervision of staff, and, well, I generally had a huge slew of responsibilities. Admittedly, I was already quite the attention seeker, even back then, having dedicated most of my youth craving for my parents' approval. Failing that, I turned to others, looked for praise from anyone who would give it, however fleeting it all was. And Luke, oh Luke, the way he looked at me, the way he watched me, and took a genuine interest. He had me disgustingly obsessed since day one, hasn't he? He saw me for me, Hannah Evans, with both my faults and my achievements. The man didn't treat me like some damsel in distress or some prize to be won. I remember the nights before we were married, where we talked about everything and anything. From big things like business, society, and philosophy, to little things such as what we had for breakfast, or whether we like cats and dogs more. We both prefer dogs. Nowadays, I'm just Luke Wright's wife. It's mostly my fault, isn't it? They told me that husbands prefer wives who are docile and subordinate, a woman who will always be there for him, yet would never outshine him in all aspects except for beauty. A wife needs to be at home and attend to his needs, to have children, to take care of them in his absence. They said I have no business working anymore after I was married. I can blame society, but I listened. Before I can fall further into my introspective pit of self-loathing, someone calls for my attention.
The guests have arrived, madam.
And Luke?
Running a bit late, I'm afraid.
Do you know where he went, at least?
Late for his own party. That man, I swear. He's probably looking to make a dramatic entrance, knowing him. Open the doors, then. We mustn't tarry.
Cars line up the driveway, prepping the front of the mansion with vehicles of every kind. Grand tours, supercars, even the odd high-end muscle car or two, convertibles, grand saloons, and other luxury cars can be seen being parked by valets. A handful of cabs drive off, possibly for those who thought it's too troublesome to bring their own cars. There are a lot of 2 different media vans as well. They're all here for what may be considered the biggest event of the year in Luxbourne. So far, who knows what we'll plan for the winter holidays.
Welcome everyone. Please, make yourselves at home.
Some of the guests idle, enjoying the warm of not strange sunshine we are experiencing, before gloomy skies inevitably return. They greet acquaintances and friends with warm smiles, others less so. From where I stand, I can see the hierarchy of power, the ties that bind these individuals here, whether through convenience or necessity. However, these are also a few who are not here to further cement their current place in high society. Such as that young man with his oriental air. Such as that young man with his oriental air, ignorant of the looks he receives from women and men alike.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Why is Ashton here? They literally... Oh god, is something gonna happen to Ash? Oh, please no. What? Why is she here? Damn it, Rebecca. Or that rosy-haired woman talking on the phone while she looks unsure of why she is here exactly.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom.
It's because you guys are rich, huh? That's why you're here?
Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can.
I see Zachary, the photographer, as well. He talks to a few of the other media crew with an air of familiarity.
I was just here a few days ago, yeah. Yeah, and the inside is huge, but the staff are pretty helpful if you get lost.
I had invited Father Norman, too. It's the least I can do after he blessed the mansion on my request, aside from my small donation to the church, of course. But the poor man had taken ill and went through a nervous breakdown of some sort the other day. Oh, God, no! We cursed the bastard. And then there are people like Chief Inspector, Oh, look, it's my favorite person. I'm so excited. People I can never be too sure about. People who stand on the border between suspicious and being trustworthy.
Thank you for the invite, Anna.
Oh, I didn't really invite you. I invited your wife, but yeah.
Husband still missing, I see.
Ugh. You're so grimy. You're so grimy. Lower that eyebrow, you disgusting.
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again?
She told me she'll just be in the gardens. Bet she's lying and that she's somewhere around mingling, gossiping with the other ladies.
Oh, so she's here.
No offense, but that seems to be all you ladies do at these parties.
Fuck you.
And aren't you gossiping right now?
Thank you, Hannah. I love Hannah.
Yes, well, what about Luke?
You know what? Fuck off.
Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing.
You know, you should just get out of my house right now, you motherfucker.
Don't tell me, let me guess. He's finally drunken himself to death and not wanting a scandal, you've hidden his body. I was wanting to give this housewarming gift to him personally, too. It's a plate that holds a wine glass so he can stop killing himself with liquid lunches. Looks like it's too late for that.
Nothing like that. Besides, this is a hardly polite conversation.
Oh, relax, I'm just trying to be cheeky to lighten the mood. It's not like I want Luke dead.
You say that, but you're sitting there like smiling. I don't want him dead. I don't want him dead.
The man doesn't serve dodgy plonk like the others when I visit, and he pays his respects well enough. I could use a glass of wine or three, actually. Rochelle's been in a horrid mood. Threw her stilettos at me the other day and almost took an eye out.
Good, I hope she fucking does.
Not sure if this is how it usually goes, but I blame the pregnancy.
I wouldn't know, would I?
Ooh, I felt that one.
Still no plans for a baby? I guess that's for the best. If it's this bad now, I can't even imagine how bad it'll be when that little baby bump becomes huge.
Have I mentioned how I don't trust him, no matter how hard I try to do so? At least he brought a gift, I suppose.
Why don't you just go inside and have some wine, Lee?
Think I will, thanks.
Greetings such as these carry on as guests continue to trickle in. Whether we have short conversations or merely handshakes and head nods, and make sure to attend and welcome each other. At the first hour pass us by, the rest of the stragglers and I adjourn to the ballroom. Any latecomers will have the attention of the porter instead. I have other duties to attend to now. Housing parties is always the same old song and dance, no matter how big or small it is. You make sure your guests are well fed, have good company, and have them generally enjoy themselves. So when my opening remarks are done, when the band has started to play and the guests start eating, I find myself wandering around aimlessly unless I am pulled aside. For a while I stay with a small group and entertain them before excusing myself. And when they're not anymore watching me, that's a weird sentence. I would say when they're not watching me anymore. I wouldn't say when they're not anymore watching me. I end up watching them. When they don't listen, I do. A local banker is having trouble with his daughter. He wishes to marry her off, but she wants nothing more than to make music. One of our hotel managers worry about the stolen belongings of one of his patrons of failing in security, which should be brought up to a higher authority soon. Our mayor, well, his cat died. Then there's this rose-haired woman, once again. It's not hard to notice her with her distinctive locks. She also lacks the grace of the other ladies have, though she does not make any less beautiful. Her stance and air she exudes instead are strong, and they make her stand out despite her casual attire. Many men have already given her their attention, although each invitation to dance has been turned down. I approach intrigued, although it is not great mystery what occupies her own attention with the glances she keeps sending towards the boy with the oriental hair. She remains unaware, though, even as I stand beside her, pretending that I am there for a drink.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Ooh. She's even going after Ash there, and Hannah noticed.
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Oh, you're fine, dearie. It's only really the Parvenu, those who climb, that come to these parties all dolled up. Quite the black-haired beauty, isn't he?
Ash has no idea. Ashton has no fucking idea that he's, like, sexy. He's just like, I'm on a mission. The boy comes over, but I do nothing to speak any softer. He merely passes by, and it is a wonder he doesn't hear what I say.
Who, Ash?
You know, you really shouldn't have turned down those offers. If I wasn't married, I'd happily go dancing with those young men. But you said a name. Ash. That's the exquisite lad you've been looking at all this time. I don't know him, and I'm the one hosting this party. That must mean you know each other. Is he your boyfriend then? Because that would explain those rejections.
Oof. No. Oh, this is beautiful art, but obviously no, because if that was her boyfriend, why would he ignore her? In all my life, I've never seen a face grow so red. The shade of her hair did not help as well. This is the most pink I've seen on a person, really.
What? No, that's ridiculous. He isn't my boyfriend.
You just wish it was.
Such a violent reaction. A simple no would have sufficed. Many here would be happy to hear it.
And I haven't been looking at him.
That's right. You've been staring. Quite heatedly, in fact. Although I'm not sure if you look like you want to kiss him or kill him.
Probably both. Because you're like, oh, why does he like Isabella? Damn you, stab, stab.
It's more the latter currently.
Just don't go murdering him on my property. I don't want to walk into a room and suddenly find a body there.
I waver as I feel the burning of someone's stares. It is chilling, and though I am used to enduring the gaze of others, the one makes my hairs on my back of my neck stand up. Oh my god. This is so creepy. Why does this... It's weird. Normally this kind of shit happens when you're by yourself, but this stuff keeps happening when people are around. It makes me seem crazy because I'm the only one seeing it. My attention is pulled from the girl and I see a woman staring. Dark-haired and dirty, she looks more like a beggar than a guest, and I have half mind to call security at her when her mouth breaks into a grin. Taunting. Her stare makes my blood run cold. She looks at me like I am nothing but a pig to slaughter for her amusement. It makes my hands shake and I nearly drop my drink. And then, in a blink, she's gone and the buzz of the party returns.
I'll keep that in mind, but... Are you alright?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I just saw ghosts.
Yes, sorry. I just thought I saw something strange. It must be the trick of the light. Anyway, on a right, as you must already know.
Rebecca Gales.
Gales.
The name is familiar, like a fond memory. I recall a kind lady, a private tutor who treated me like her own daughter when I was young. She'd even bring me food when there was no need to do so. Usually stovies, which I honestly hadn't been too keen about, though I ate them nonetheless because she brought them for me.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
Becky? No, it's Rebecca.
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way.
Oh, that's why your hair is like red. That would make sense.
But yeah, that's me. Little Becky. We met once before.
Yes, oh, I remember you! You were the cutest little thing with glasses! And when we met, you were having boy troubles with this lad called something with an A.
Ashton.
What was it again? Aaron, Alan, Adele, Albert, Alexander, Andrew?
It's the woman you just saw, Hannah. The more I list off names, the more red and more quiet Rebecca gets. She starts to look a bit miserable as her body language shows discomfort and stiffness. Perhaps I have triggered a horrid childhood memory. Surely I hadn't been mean when she visited with her mother. I don't quite remember all of it.
Ashton! Ash! That man is that boy! The same one.
Oh, you slow.
Oh, goodness me, after all these years! I can see why, though. He's quite dashing.
You don't really need to announce it to everyone within earshot, you know? Keep it down.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, but it really is cute.
And a tad bit sad.
This is a nice party, Miss Wright.
Please, Hannah is fine. We're friends of a sort, aren't we? We must be friends, seeing as I know about your little infatuation, Becky. Don't you worry, dearie. You'll have your happy ending yet.
No, I'm not gonna let it. I don't want Rebecca to get with Ash. I want Isabella to get with Ash. Don't you dare fuck this up.
I'm not too concerned about that, am I? That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh? And what makes you think that? Doesn't everybody want their happy ending?
The idea of happy endings sounds like they're just for fairy tales. And they are, sorta. I don't think you can just sit around, trapped in some tower and hope for the best. If you love them, you have to fight for it, right?
Yeah, most of the time, from what I've seen.
You're not just going to sit there and hope that everything will just fix itself on its own. Like everything, you have to work at it.
Hannah, you're getting a lot of love advice today.
But what do I know?
There's a grimace, although she starts to relax around my presence. How long has it been since we met as children? Certainly a long time. She was tiny back then, if I recall correctly.
I'm sure the daughter of the two greatest professors I've ever known is smart enough to know what she's talking about. But have you told him how you feel? And it's been what? 20 years?
17, actually. But no, not yet. He can be a bit dense. I was hoping that maybe he'd notice on his own and...
Men never do. They're useless. Men are useless at noticing that sort of thing.
Well, that won't do. What if you two become husband and wife? He's not to be dense when he's sworn himself to another person. Why, you might just as well consider leaving before the day's even begun.
If that happens, I'll have to give him a good ear bashing, won't I? Whoever anyone ends up with, it's not going to be a perfect relationship anyway.
Yep.
There's going to be things you'll love and things you'll hate about the other person. We're just humans. It's funny. Here I am, trying to give you advice when you did the very same thing back then. I remember you giving me a makeover when we were still kids. And you were the first I told anyone about my... crush.
Oh, wow. So, like, they're not even that different in age. I thought Hannah was, like, 10 years older than them, but now when I think about it, if they're already out of college, too, they're probably really close in age. Hannah might only be, like, what, 2 years older than her? I do remember now that she mentions it. I did give her that yellow summer dress or a pink blouse and petticoat. She must have kept some of what I said in mind. Feels ridiculous remembering all those years later, talking about boys and how they go crazy for pretty girls as if it's some gospel every woman should adhere to. It was so easy to say such things then, with me not knowing any better. Though, looking at her now, she must have kept some of what I said in mind. Perhaps I did say some good at the time, enough for her to take it to heart? But all that didn't matter in the moment as I mulled over what she just said in my head. What Rebecca told me is very different from what Marianne told me. There's no time to ponder over that. Oh, do I have to choose? Do I have to choose if I'm going to stay with Luke or not? Ooh, that's hard. However, as a hush descends upon the once lively crowd, the music of strings and chatter slows to a grind halt as the doors from the foyer opens. Oh no. The last latecomer should have arrived moments ago, and everyone else is late would simply be embarrassed to show their face, so this can only be one person, or rather, one man, and hopefully he's not horribly drunk and smashed. There's only one man who was audacious enough to arrive at his own party so late.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party?
Get the fuck out, Luke.
I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the Wright Mansion.
Unlike I, who was raised in the spotlight and simply grew used to his presence, he sought it out every chance he could. Even when there was no spotlight that shone. And I'll never put it against him when he smiles like that. He did so quite brilliantly under the scrutiny when he channels his showsmanship. You can tell by the way people's eyes light up as he speaks, how they listen, entrapped even if all he's doing is simple greeting. A little wave of his hand here, smile there, and a bit of swagger. I always tell him that if he is not to be a businessman, then he can be an entertainer. I love this side of him, especially when he looks at me and he beckons me over to humbly share his place. Not a single second is wasted as I excuse myself from Rebecca's side and make my way to Luke's.
Welcome one and all to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are our ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness. So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone!
There's a round of applause, cheers, and even some hoots. Guests approach us left and right to shake Luke's hand and greet him personally, praises on their lips. It is because of that I do not see her. I do not see her until she's dangerously close with fury in her eyes and she's already spitting venom. Johannes restrains her, taking care not to unnecessarily harm the pregnant woman. Oh my god! Is this woman... Did Luke get her pregnant? Is Luke a cheater? If he's a cheater, I'm fucking breaking up with him right now. And that does little to deter her rage. The man has no choice but to let her go, lest an unborn child be hurt. Although it might be too late for that, as I see an unemptied glass of wine in her hand. How much has she imbibed in it?
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle?
I bet you Rochelle, because she's pregnant and she's the officer's wife. Well, as if all the times that Luke has been missing, she's been having an affair with Luke, and that's why. And then he found out she was pregnant and he didn't want the baby because he doesn't want children. It's either that or maybe her own husband cheated on her and she found out. Either way, someone cheated on someone. That's the only reason a woman would act like this.
Perhaps you need to sit down and...
No! Shut it, you munter! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag over here! You bloody bastard standing there with your smarmy smile!
She interrupts me, jabbing her finger in my direction before she rounds on Luke. Oh my god, yes! Luke fucking cheated on Hannah and got Rochelle pregnant. And that's why he's so against children too, so he probably said he's like not gonna see her anymore and she got super upset and that's why he's missing all the time. Hannah, you need to break up. I knew there was... Obviously intoxicated, judging by the smell of alcohol in her breath. I'm not ticked off about this little display of hers, at least not yet. But I am absolutely pissed by the fact that she endangered her own baby by drinking. There is a considerable amount of restraint and grace that I must exercise while I wait for her tantrum to subside. I keep a patient, if tight, smile on my face. Luke's expression, on the other hand, is indecipherable.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle!
Oh my god.
Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
I did.
And I told you with great emphasis not to. Now we have a drunk, hormonal, pregnant woman causing a stir. What is even going on?
I am just about to ask that exact same thing.
I don't know. But Rochelle, do calm down before you hurt yourself. I can't understand a word you're saying.
Where is that husband of yours? Lee! Collect your wife right now!
Don't you fucking talk like I'm not here and you're not responsible, you ass!
Yeah!
You told me that I should wait for you in the gardens!
Hannah's gonna be so heartbroken. Oh my god, I feel so bad for her right now. She has no idea. This is what happens. If a guy is missing for long hours and it's like a repetitive basis and your relationship isn't even close anymore, I'm sorry to say, he's probably fucking cheating on you. And I wanted to say that earlier, but I don't know their relationship too much. I didn't know what it was like before, and so I had nothing to compare it to, but yeah.
Excuse me. What is this nonsense you're going on about?
I would kind of already know what's happening. There's a pregnant woman pissed at your husband. What do you think is happening?
Crazy talk. That's all it is. Just completely and utterly mad.
And he's over emotional.
Has anyone seen the chief inspector?
I am pregnant with your little bastard. You promised me you'll take responsibility.
Oh my god.
God damn it, Luke. I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me.
No wonder why he doesn't want to hear about babies. What?
What do you mean you're pregnant with? Luke, is this true?
Lies and slander, woman!
Obviously, you should believe Rochelle.
Security! Johans, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
No, you do not do this to me. I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours.
This is so... Ow. Oh my god.
Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby?
She does. That's the sad thing. She's been asking for it this whole time. She wants a baby, but Luke wouldn't give her one, and he ends up getting another woman pregnant. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
That's gotta hurt. It is now that Hans returns with security, along with the concerned-looking Officer Lee. They surround her and move to escort the hysterical woman. Judging by his paler face, he has heard the whole thing, and I feel nothing but pity for the man. Not that I believe Rochelle. You should. I don't think she's lying. What reason would she have to lie? And the way that your husband is reacting, he seemed overly worried, like overly freaking out before stuff even came out of her mouth. It's like he knew what she was going to say. Luke will never go as far as to sleep with another woman, right? Bullshit. I think he would.
I'm so sorry for her behaviour. She's been under a lot of stress. And the alcohol. Talking nonsense, that's all it is. You're not allowed to drink because of the baby, Shelley. What are you thinking?
Nothing to see here, people. Move along.
Is there really nothing but the rambles of a drunk? Of course, they're nothing but rambles of a drunk. She's just jealous of this wonderful marriage, this happily ever after that I have with my prince.
Take that troll up out of here immediately! And see to it that she isn't allowed to hear or anywhere we hold any authority in Luxbourne.
To be banned from anything with the right name on it is basically social suicide. We partially own half of Luxbourne, and there isn't a single establishment of repute that isn't under our patronage one way or another. This is mercy. I can do much worse to her. At least this way, she can move out of the city and never ever return. I've stayed my hand in my face of a grievous fault. Her bold-faced lies, well, she deserves so much more. I can take away her business, have her factory shut down. It is easy to ruin her life until she is nothing, and it is so tempting. I can only see red, the tension is thick in the air, and the silence that embraces the room is nearly deafening. There are worried and almost fearful glances from some of the guests, yet at the same time I can still hear them whispering. But as long as they hold their tongues and don't interfere, none of this matters to me. Especially when my darling looks at me with a different shine in his eyes. It almost seems as if he's proud of what he's done, and that spurs on me more than anything.
Everyone, please go back to enjoying the party. Don't let that mess of a woman ruin your night.
You heard her! Strike up the band, maestro, and let us dance like fireflies in the night!
I hate him. I'm gonna divorce you as soon as I get the chance. I want a breakup button right now. I don't put up with that shit. If you're a fucking cheater, get out of my life. It takes a bit from the crowd to stir again, in the face of all that. But, like most problems of the elite, it brushed under the rug and forgotten in a flavor of merit. He offers his hand to me with a small smirk and a bow.
Well, that was a mess, wasn't it? And you handled it magnificently.
It happens. We are very important people, are we not?
Milady, would you like to dance?
No! Fuck off.
With pleasure, my prince.
Hannah, don't be so gullible, girl. No one is going to get in between me and my darling husband. Not Rochelle or any other rich snooty scrubber. Not some common whore ambitious maid. No one is going to get near him in that manner, not while I'm around. And if I have anything to say about it, no one is going near him at all. October 29th, Saturday. The day after proved to be a difficult task. My darling prince is a man of many connections, a man of the people. He is always talking to one person or another, and I am always left alone, unstable to stay at his side at times. It is frustrating, but I have to be understanding. Besides, I don't see why he can't just stay at home. The least I can do is make sure I have his time while he's here, which in itself isn't as easy as it sounds. Not with the bloody valet of his tailing around.
Johans! Where's my tie? I can't find it anywhere.
Have you looked around your neck? It should be there if it's not on your clothes horse, sir.
It isn't often that I'm awake this early, at least early enough to find my darling preparing the day with his valet attending to him. It is an old-fashioned way to go about the morning. He's able to dress himself after all. Okay, guys, I'm going to end this episode here. A lot of crazy shit happened, and I feel super bad for Hana. Like, as soon as they give me the option to divorce this guy, I will. If you enjoyed this video, please check out my other videos on my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me likes. Check out my Instagram. Check out my Patreon. And yeah, I hope to see you again on the next episode of The Letter. Nya nya nya. Minty Foxu, Pa Punchu. And then there are people like Chief Inspector. Oh, look, it's my favorite person. I'm so excited. Johannes restrains her, taking care not to unnecessarily harm the pregnant woman. Oh my god! Is this woman... Did Luke get her pregnant? Is Luke a cheater? If he's a cheater, I'm fucking breaking up with him right now. Said he's like not gonna see her anymore, and she got super upset, and that's why he's missing all the time. Hana, you need to break up. I knew there was...